From the time Capuchins lived in their U.S. headquarters in Wisconsin and declared interest in moving to Westchester, the order's presence in Yonkers seemed preordained. In 1890, they reached as far as Fort Lee, New Jersey, yet when their eyes scanned across the Hudson River, they saw the promise and value in creating and supporting a vibrant parish located in what was already known as the City of Gracious Living, or Yonkers, New York. The very next year, their humble beginnings saw Father Bonaventure Fry hold Mass in a rented house some 4 blocks away from the current church, where construction had already begun. 2 months later, in November of 1891, Sacred Heart Church was ready for services, and Capuchin Minister General Bernard Christian dedicated the monastery where our beloved Friars live to this day.
The section of town that we're in, the section of the city, is in fact called Monastery Heights because of the presence of the Capuchin Monastery.
Everybody says, oh, you go to Sacred Heart, I like the Capuchins.
Everybody in my circle of friends and family all knew Sacred Heart, and they all knew Friars. And different level of relationship, seeing them out on the streets, or seeing them at the ballpark, or in the school. A lot of different relationships with people, and a long history, which made it very simple. Just kind of picked up and jumped in, joined in.
From the day I was born, I was baptized here, received all my sacraments, and was married here. Everyone knows the Capuchins.
Once the church was built, work began on building and establishing a school. Sacred Heart Grammar School and Convent opened its doors in May of 1893. The Sisters of St. Agnes taught 60 children and lived over the shop on the 2nd floor. Sacred Heart School went on to expand into an upper and lower school that has been home to a number of parishioners, past, current, and future friars, and notable Yonkers residents.
I started actually Sacred Heart as a sophomore and graduated there. It was many of our classes were taught by brothers. One of my dear friends is Father Ted, and so I got. And then I still have a friendship with Father Ted that is 30 years out to today. So it's been quite the experience for me, and it was a very positive experience for me growing up as a young man. Being able to go to Sacred Heart and have that experience, I think it really contributed to me as a man, making sure that I had a good, solid moral compass, and that I was able to navigate the business world with the highest standards, and as a result, I think it made me better.
Men of great holiness found their place in Yonkers at Sacred Heart. Father and now Venerable Solanus Casey, now a candidate for beatification, lived in the monastery from 1904 until 1918. Time passed, and Yonkers was blessed with more and more men of God as Capuchins arrived to minister to its citizens and assist with Sacred Heart School.
I transferred to the school in the 4th grade and went to Sacred Heart Grade School. And I got to know some of these guys personally and began the friendship that lasted until today.
I came here when I was 24 because I was hired to teach 1st grade, and that's how I first met the Capuchins. Father Finian was pastor, and I didn't know him very well. He was bigger than life, actually, very well known.
Father Finian Sullivan became pastor in 1949 and watched over an era of growth for the church that matched his larger-than-life personality. Though he died tragically young, his legacy lives on in Yonkers, on the street where housing bears his name, Finian Sullivan Tower and Monastery Manor.
I live in one of them now. I live in the tower.
It's Father Finian Sullivan, who was a name to be reckoned with. Great history. Everybody loved him. Some feared him, including myself, mostly because I didn't know him.
Father Finian, everyone would remember him.
Looking back, the last 125 years of Capuchins ministering in Yonkers has made an impact that will stay with the city and her residents for the rest of its days. What the future may hold is up to God, but we hope that some things will never change.
So let's hope this just stays the way it is.
Today's world, it's changed so much. There's a lot happening, but it doesn't hurt for young people to have a little faith. That's what the brothers do for you. They make sure they instill good values in you, to reinforce your faith, and they challenge you so that you're able to best be able to meet the needs of the future.
I hope they go well beyond 125 years.
It makes me happy to think that, you know, we have 3 young children and that they could grow up in a parish like this, you know, with the Capuchin Franciscans.